A gunman unleashes panic and pain inside a place designed to heal veterans of war.
He is armed with an M4 style rifle. 15 to 30 shots fired against the deputy.
First a shootout, then hostages are taken inside the largest veterans home in the country.
The standoff in Yountville would last hours. Dozens are evacuated as SWAT moved in. That ordeal would have a deadly conclusion.
This is a tragic piece of news, one that we were really hoping we wouldn't have to come before the public to give.
The bodies of the suspect and his 3 hostages found just hours ago.
Tonight, flags across the state are flying at half-staff in honor of the victims. Governor Brown offering his condolences for the families impacted by today's violence. And tonight, we've confirmed the gunman is from Sacramento. Investigators tell us it's unclear if the 3 victims, all women, were targeted or chosen at random. Good evening, I'm Tony Lopez.
And I'm Christina Janes. The bodies were discovered more than 8 hours after that standoff began. In the last hour, authorities released the victims' names. All were employees of the Pathway Home. In a statement, Pathway Home identified them as Executive Director Christine Lober of Napa, Dr. Jen Golick, a therapist, and Dr. Jennifer Gonzalez, a psychologist with the San Francisco Department of Veterans Affairs healthcare system. Authorities
have identified the suspect as 36-year-old Albert Wong of Sacramento and say he was recently diagnosed and discharged from the Pathway Home program. This all started around 10:30 this morning at the Veterans Home of California in Yountville in Napa County. CBS 13's Steve Large is live at the scene with more on how this all played out. Steve?
Well, it was a day-long standoff that had everyone hoping for a peaceful outcome. Tonight, the CHP delivered that announcement we all feared. This SWAT vehicle was among a long line of law enforcement cars and trucks leaving the California Veterans Home in Yountville after a day-long standoff concluded with all 3 hostages and the suspect found dead.
This is a tragic piece of news, one that we were really hoping we wouldn't have to come before the public to give.
All were found inside a building that houses Pathway Home, a nonprofit that helps veterans suffering from PTSD. The suspect had been kicked out of the program 2 weeks ago. State Senator Bill Dodd and Congressman Mike Thompson confirmed the 3 hostages were employees of the program, including the executive director, Christine Lober.
And sadly, they're gone. This is just unexplainable. You can't put it into words.
The gunman first burst onto the Veterans Home campus at 10:30 a.m. and engaged in a gunfight with a Napa County Sheriff's deputy before taking 5 hostages. He released 2. Then came the standoff. Officials would not confirm if they ever made contact with the suspect before finding everyone dead.
I think the Napa County Sheriff's Department did a phenomenal job. They were in here within 3 to 5 minutes, on the job. We're going to find out a lot more as we go.
Now the California Veterans Home has become the latest site of deadly gun violence. And investigators are still inside the room where all the bodies were discovered, processing the scene. This terrifying day has come to a tragic end.
Steve, thank you. Again, this all started this morning, mid-morning, as the gunman interrupted a going-away party for staff members.
The first dispatch calls give us an idea of what exactly law enforcement was up against in those first few moments.
Fire response for a shooting at the Veterans Home, Building G. Repeating at the Veterans Home, staging is required. Possible active.
4 snipers, 3 light.
Male 5'6", 150, wearing a black baseball cap. He has tan BDU pants on, a green jacket, yellow shooting glasses. He is armed with an M4 style rifle, a scope, unknown armor. 15 to 30 shots fired against the deputy already. It's in the G building of the 2nd floor, Madison Hall.
Now, the suspect was holding hostages inside a building that's leased by the veteran advocate group, the Pathway Home. The program helps veterans who served after the 9/11 attacks and provides them help in transitioning back into the civilian world. Many of them suffer from PTSD.